we're going to create a number quiz game, and we're going to need two different numbers, and then we're going to need an operator as well. I'm going to start off and I'm going to import the random library. I've started off with two different variables, number 1 and number 2, which are both integers, and then I've made a result variable as well. I'm going to continue and create a list of all the different operators, and then I'm going to have a variable that allows the user to guess their answer. The next section of this, I'm going to use number 1, and I'm using the random library that I have imported in the beginning, and I have said it needs to generate a random integer between 1 and 10. Of course, if you would like to make this more difficult, you could change the number 10 to 100. The next section includes what we would like it to print. For example, the maths problem we would like you to find out is, and then what's going to happen is it's going to pull a random number, a random integer from our list, and the second random number. And then it's going to ask the user to input the answer. Sometimes we only want to execute or run a piece of code if a certain condition is satisfied. Over here I'm using the if command, and what it means is if the operator, which is one of the list of the operators, if that is equal to the addition sign, then the result will be number 1 added to number 2. If the operator is not an addition sign, then we need to say elif, which is short for else if. So if it's not an addition sign, else if, or elif, the operator is a minus sign, then the result will be number 1 minus number 2. Of course, that might not be true either, and we can then have another elif, the operator is a times sign, then the result would be number 1 times number 2. If none of these three are true, then we can say else. Of course, if none of the other three are true, the only one that can remain is the divide by sign. So then we've got else, the result is the number 1 divided by the number 2. We have now got the one part of a number quiz game. It will automatically choose a random number and use one of the operators, and it will then give us an answer. What we now need to do is compare whatever the user types in as their answer to the actual correct answer. If the user guesses the correct result, it's going to print well done. If the answer is not correct, we can use elif. So if the guess is too high, i.e. it's greater than the result, it's going to print the guess was too high. And then we're doing exactly the same thing, but in reverse. Lastly, if the guess is not correct, or it's not too high or too low and they've just typed in something incorrectly, we can say print, you did not give the correct answer. Let's see how this works. Over here it's now asked us what is 9 minus 1. I'm going to start off and I'm going to type in 8 and press enter. And it now comes and tells me, well done, that's the correct answer. I've run this again, and this time I'm going to answer incorrectly, and I'm going to say the answer is 4. And now it's going to tell me that the guess was too high because the correct answer was obviously 2. I've run the program again, and this time it has randomly given me an addition sign. Now if I answer incorrectly, and let's say I say the answer is 10, it's going to come up and say that the answer was too low.